Attention one, attention all, especially citizens of Polyhex. It's time to pay homage to this guy. It is the Transformers Generations Darkmount, better known to those of Polyhex as Lord Straxus. And he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, man, that's right, hit that notification bell, please, because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, the Autobot family, and hey, while you're at it, have a look for me everywhere across social media. And this is Darkmount. That's the name he was released under. I don't know why, but we all know that this is Lord Straxus, and Lord Straxus as a character is not a nice dude, but this offering for him is a pretty great mold. I like it as Skullgrin. I think I might like it more as Straxus, at least this copy of it. I like the coloration, I like the head sculpt, the articulation is second to none, and the conversion is pretty clever. Little bit odd, but pretty clever. And he even pulls off base mode? Kind of, sort of, arguably. We're gonna see this mode, his tank mode, and if you want to call it the base mode, we'll call it the base mode when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Perhaps no other Decepticon elicits the respect that Straxus does by way of his dictatorial fear-mongering in Polyhex. He rules there with an iron fist, so much so that even Megatron tends to give him his leeway. His history comes from, really, his appearances in the comics, as he never really appeared on any of the kind of television programs, though I would love to see this character used, to be honest with you. In terms of his paint apps, because we don't have a box or instructions or any such thing, we can kind of jump right into the guy here. In terms of his paint apps, I'm going to say it's a 10, even though, truth be known, if you look up the history of this color scheme, it's actually a mix of his various comic book appearances where his own colors changed dramatically. Like, you know, the red on his biceps, for example, along with the silver on his forearms and the blue on the sides of his chest, is from his appearance in one comic. But then you have that gold section in the center, and that's from a different comic, along with the blue lower leg. So it's a weird kind of mix. Same with his like pickaxe thing, but like if you know Straxus or Darkmount, if you will, from the comics, then like I think you pretty much know that this is him. And here he is with his, I guess we would call it mold brother, that being the Generation Skullgrin, who I looked at in episode 452, and I like Skullgrin. I'm a big fan, so I would expect that I would be a big fan of Darkmount or Straxus, if you will. In terms of articulation, by the way, I didn't really do his accessories because I don't think I have all of them, though I have this one, and his most important one being his battle axe. He comes with a few, and they're fine. They're fine. Nothing much to talk about with it though. The battle axe is cool. It incorporates into his vehicle mode, but the articulation overall, we have a head that goes left and right, no real up or down. There's a bit of a wiggle on it. The arms, they can go well out to the side. We do have an elbow. We do have a bicep rotation, and it's really weird. The bicep, like technically there's another bend here, so almost like another elbow. It's really weird. It's tighter on this guy than it is on Skullgrin. As a matter of fact, I do use the other hinge on Skullgrin as the elbow rather than the actual elbow. It'd be nice if the actual elbow could get right to 90 degrees. Not quite. We do have wrists that can go in and out. There's a wrist rotation. There are hinged fingers, which are pretty cool. I'm just going to take this out of his hand. Same on the other side. Here, am I able to Yeah, there. That's what I was going for. Like if you want, you could use this other hinge here as the elbow. And then that means the actual elbow is like this weird, like out. It's weird. It's weird. It's up to you which one you use, I guess, as the elbow. I like the versatility of it though. Is there a waist? There is a waist, which I think is cool. These pieces, they move up on the sides at the shoulders. The hips don't go out well. It's all right, but not great. They go forward well, they go back very well. Thigh swivel, 90-degree knee. This like handle on his knee moves. We do get ankle tilt, as weird as it looks here with that space. We do get heel, we do get toe tilt, and that can move all around. So he's very versatile. The only real limit is on the hips. I'm going to say that his overall articulation is pretty effective. I'm going to give it a score of, I'm going to say a 9. Honestly, I'm going to say it's a 9. So we have a 10, we have a 9, it's a 9.5. We have the transformation. Really, it goes to like this half tank mode, but there's also this other like weird artillery base mode that I'll try and show. So just to show this, because it is part of the transformation, this is really where we will start. We take this piece and fold it out. And we fold these in. This will be important later on. We take this piece and we bring it back here, and that's kind of what we have. Like this will be his tank muzzle, I guess. Okay, so with that done, I kind of have this guy just set up. I straightened out the arms and I closed the hands and kind of put the wrists in just a little bit. Nothing major. It's not a hard transformation, but the key is being able to have things swing past other things. That's the issue with this guy. We're going to try and show it as best we can here. Remember, he's getting a 9.5. So we bring these shoulder pieces down, bring them to the... Actually, we won't even bring them to the front yet. We're going to actually begin by opening up the front there and putting his head in and closing that up again. Put the head down, close that up. This piece here, it can also fold up. Then we bring these forward and down, forward and down. These will probably move on his chest as we fiddle with these pieces on the back, because we want to get the pieces on the back to move out on these hinges so that the shoulders can kind of swing in underneath. But before we put any of that together, we're gonna have to make sure that we get the waist and the legs coming up through. It's a lot of moving parts, man. I like the engineering, I think it's ingenious, but it's a lot of moving parts. So we split those two pieces. We bring this, actually, I guess we'll bring this out and do this with it. There, bring the shoulders forward a bit and get this down. That way these bigger pieces are up over. Then we can kind of bring this out to the side and bring this out to the side. And that will allow us to sort of swing back the shoulder, which also brings out the front tire. Just like that, and then over on this side we'll do the same thing. Just like that. We're not bringing the arms together now. We're not bringing these pieces together. None of that. We're just gonna now split the waist, and you see that there's like a red section and a blue section here. We're gonna split the waist, and that's gonna come up around because we need to deal with kind of the legs and stuff first, which will become the tank turret. And we bring that out and up over like that. This piece here that was part of his pelvis will also come out because the legs will tab into it. Then we close the heel in, and we push up the feet, and we push up the feet really into the shins is really what we're trying to do here. And we got that done. Now this is when things begin to get kind of interesting and fiddly all at the same time. So we open the legs here. These are going to fold up over the upper legs. But before we end up putting anything together, after we do that and closing these panels up underneath, we're going to also use the 5mm peg hole right here to put in like the I guess the muzzle of the tank turret. So we're going to fold that up around. And we're going to do the same thing here and fold this up around. It's a lot here, I admit it, guys. Then we take this piece and we will peg it. Okay, so now that I've got the kind of muzzle plugged in, I wanted to show this because way down in here, and I hope you can see it, is the positioning that we need to have the battle axe, pickaxe, axe pieces in. It's really weird, but once this is done, then we can close in that shin piece and close in this shin piece again. Close those in, and then if we come around to the back here, we should be able to kind of line all this up, and there's a couple of little rectangular slots on the side of the legs, and they will tab into this gray piece right here, and that will solidify the entire top of the tank. Now that we've got this whole section kind of taken care of, we can deal with the, I'm gonna call it the lower body, I guess. This is also weird. Okay, so we have the arms now put in behind, and we can begin to bring these pieces back and down. And the arms have treads on them and little wheels, and they will really slot in on the side of the treads pretty nicely. And I guess that looks good, I suppose. Actually, I suppose before we do that, since we're here, I should probably take that out and bring this piece down and around and angle these two pieces like this and turn this around. And apparently, like, this is the like battle turret mode. Let me just back it up a little bit. So this might not be perfectly exact, but this is basically the like turret base embankment weapons thing. It's like being partway to the tank and then stopping. This, on the cool side, can turn all the way around. Like, you can angle that and it can still go all the way around. I think that's really cool. I like that. In terms of finishing them off into the tank, I started to say it before where you put the arms kind of in that section of the tank. So, you know, again, we do that. I guess I can straighten up those hands again now. I want to kind of bring all of this down and in. So it looks like this, where we have a little tire in there. You see the way the hand is behind here. Same thing on the other side. We're going to, joints really tight on this copy of the mold. A lot tighter on this guy than they are on Skullgrin. Or at least on my copies. Again, put that in. We will turn the tank piece around here and angle that down. We put together these back tank pieces here. Make sure that's down and in properly like that. Why did those come apart? See what I mean? Like, lining everything up is the only real challenge with this. But then in the end, really boom, here we have Straxus, or Darkmount if you will, in his tank mode. Now I like this guy, honestly. He was getting a 9.5. The transformation is good, it's ingenious in a lot of ways. I don't think the base mode thing is good, that we stopped for like halfway between. He just needs a robot in the tank and he's cool, man. Couple of little, I'm not gonna say tolerance issues, but like putting this piece in is clever but a nuisance as well. It's hard to show. I hope I did it justice. Still, there's a lot here to like. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's very interesting how it all comes together. I'm going to say that overall the transformation's at 8.5. 8.5. He was getting a 9.5. He's a solid 9. He rolls well. I might have this accessory and the other accessory on the other side over here. They might be in the wrong location. Again, though, he rolls well. You'll notice that there's an M17 in a couple of locations here and an M17 here. Apparently that's a reference to Marvel 17. issue 17 where he first appeared, I think. This whole piece still, the turret moves all around. It can go around 360. I think that's genius. There's a lot here to like. Overall score 9, and he is worth every bit of a 9. And here we are once again, and you know what? Like, he's pretty dandy. Like, he is quite a nice tyrannical warlord. You know, it is what it is. I love the coloration, even though it's an amalgamation of his various colorations across different issues of the original comic that he appeared in. But the gold, the red, or maybe it's bronze. The bronze, the red, and the yellow play off each other very nicely with the hints of gray. I love the articulation. I don't know why he has kind of the double elbow thing, but hey, I'm not going to complain about it. It's another point of articulation. The ankles on this guy feel tighter. The knees, the hips, everything on this guy feels tighter than on my Skullgrin copy. I'm sure that's just luck of the draw. I don't know if it was common that the Straxus mold was better. I'm not even sure which one came first, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But I like how he turned out, and some people might say, hey, we could use a new Lord Straxus. Maybe, but if we never get it, I'm happy that we at least have this one. Anyway, let me know what you think about this guy. Do you like Lord Straxus? Did you even know who Lord Straxus was before this? You know I love to hear from you guys, and I appreciate you coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, and if you're in a position to help the channel grow, there is a donate link down in the description. Please don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every day, you do most definitely make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either at the live shows on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, man, right here inside the videos.